Hi guys, Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness, my personal journey with post-traumatic stress disorder, and an open discussion about hope and encouragement and the road that those of us that are battling it are walking. And I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk about validation and the power of getting great help. This week I had a fantastic visit with my primary doctor that is treating my PTSD. And as I've touched on in the past, there are times when it is very valuable to have a spouse or a loved one with you when you're at these appointments, not only because they love you, but also because they are able to add insight and feedback as to how things are going, what they're seeing, changes that they've seen, whatever it might be. And during the course of the conversation, this happened to be for medication management, because there's been some changes in my medication lately. My wife spoke up quite boldly, which I enjoy her doing, because otherwise I have to try to answer her questions as a Mayo trained psychiatrist would answer them, which is not going to happen. So she spoke up and started asking questions about why I seemed so distant at times and how things seemed to be going backwards, even though I was telling the doctor that what we're doing right now, what we're trying with the 4 medications that I'm on currently, that it is working. Her questions were all around, why am I seeing these things happen that are so scary or disheartening to me? And one of the things that she was pointing out was that there were times when I would seem completely not present, that my mind just wasn't there. In fact, she described it as my feet not being firmly planted on the ground in the situation, whether that be emotionally or however she may interpret it, but just not being there. And this great doctor looked at her and said, "Let me explain to you what your husband is going through when that's happening." He skipped right over me and went right to the explanation as to what was happening. And what happens in those times is when I seem not attached to what is going on around me, or I seem removed from the moment, is that there are those intrusive memories and those intrusive thoughts bringing me back physically and mentally to times of great duress, times of great stress, and the culmination of how PTSD forms. And he went on to explain very, very politely, very gently, all along validating her feelings, that when you're struggling with trauma and stressor-related disorder, there are going to be times regularly where you are fighting a battle in your mind that is very, very difficult to withdraw from and become present in the moment. And you can see it. She can see it in my eyes. She can see it in my body language. She can see it in my emotions. She can see it all over me when these times are happening, and they happen quite regularly. And what I want to talk about is the power of validation. And it happened in a split second, and if I didn't stop and talk about it, you would miss how important validation truly is. He didn't even ask me if it was happening or if this is how I was feeling. He knew having treated hundreds, if not thousands, of people over his career with PTSD, exactly what was happening. And he talked about the neural pathways over years, how neural pathways are created, and how it takes time to, just like it took time to create those very toxic neural pathways, it takes time to reverse those neural pathways. And so there are going to be times of being disconnected. There are going to be times of not being there in the moment that are to be expected, that are part of the process. And there are a bunch of points that I want you to see here. And one of them obviously is bringing somebody that you trust and that you love, that understands and that knows your story. When you take that first step to get help and to get therapy and to get professional help, because they can add so much good insight and they can ask such good questions when, quite honestly, you are not in the shape mentally and sometimes physically to even be answering a doctor's questions or explaining them well. Whereas prior in the week, in the days prior, you may have been able to articulate them very, very clearly to that special someone or somebody that has been in your journey, that understands and that was listening and that was able to not only validate but also give a very accurate and honest bit of feedback to the doctor. And I will tell you that after I left that appointment, I can tell you that the level of validation that I had, and his compassion and his empathy for what I have been through and what my family has been through, and his ability to connect with exactly where I am in my journey and to tell me it's okay and we're going to get there, your brighter days are ahead of you, is exactly what I want to be for the people that watch this channel. Your best days are ahead of you. We are going to get through this dark valley. We are going to make it to the end. We're going to make it to that bright light. But take that powerful first step. I can't tell you the number of first steps that I could talk to you about in my care with PTSD and what those first steps led to. Just one small step may open up a door of endless possibilities to the course of your healing, to the course of your becoming whole again. And having great help and great doctors and great providers involved is something that is very, very important. And I just wanted to encourage you today, if nothing else, to listen carefully to your doctors, to study what it is that you are battling, and to be able to articulate or bring somebody with you that can articulate exactly what it is that you are feeling, exactly what it is you are walking through, exactly what you are struggling with, because it's very, very difficult to talk about brokenness. It's very, very difficult to talk about painful topics. It's very difficult to be transparent and vulnerable and open to somebody about how you're truly feeling or how deeply you are injured or how seriously the trauma is playing itself out in your life. So I just wanted to take today to encourage you to get great help, and you will know when you have great help, because there will be empathy, there will be validation, there will be professionalism, and there will be real action taken in your pathway to healing and feeling better. And I want nothing more for you and for me to experience peace, calm, and joy again. That is what I am after. And I told this doctor that, and I'm going to close with that today and encourage you to pursue those three things and to have courage to take that first step to get help, to reach out for help, to get good professional help in dealing with unresolved trauma that has injured you deeply over the years or in an instant. You deserve it. Remember that there is a God watching over you that loves you, that wants to be part of your journey as well. I ask you to ask Him to be part of your journey. He wants to be there. He loves you more than you could ever imagine. This is Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. I can't wait to talk with you again about another topic.